The first thing I felt was the deep, familiar ache in my body. Even after all this time, I never got used to Daniel's animalistic stamina. I turned over and saw he was already awake, his back muscles gilded by the morning sun, his eyes half closed and lazy. "Why are you up so early?" His voice was a sleepy rasp. The stiffness in my waist made me wince. I reached for my stockings only to find the pair from yesterday torn beyond repair. He'd done that. Daniel rolled over, a mischievous smile playing on his lips as he dangled my underwear from his finger. "Aren't you a little old for this white lace?" he said, tossing it to me. "It's out of style. Get something new." I took it. "Fine, I'll buy new ones. What kind do you like?" "Don't bother," he interrupted, his tone shifting to something casual and cruel. "I'm changing the code to the front door. Don't come by without a reason from now on." The words hit me like a physical blow. We'd been doing this for a year. At first, it was every few days. Then I was practically living there, cleaning his apartment, watching movies on his sofa, pretending we were a real couple. I'd even started to fantasize about a future. "Why?" I asked, my voice instinctive and small. "Is your family visiting?" "Is work busy?" "I can." He got out of bed and looked at me, his thin lips curving. "No. She agreed to be my girlfriend yesterday." It took a moment for she to register. The university graduate he'd been chasing. The women around him never lasted more than 3 months. I'd assumed this was another fling. "Are you serious?" "Yes," he said, and his smile was genuine. "She's different, Veronica. She's pure. I don't want her to know about us. It would upset her. I've been pursuing her for a long time." Sunlight streamed through the curtains, so bright it made me dizzy. "Oh, okay," I heard myself say, quiet and calm. "Then I'll get my things today." "No rush," he said, pulling on gray sweatpants. "Your lease is up. Stay a few days until you find a new place." But I couldn't. I packed the few things that were solely mine, a single box's worth, while he watched from the doorway, shirtless, lighting a cigarette. "Veronica, you're not young anymore. It's time to find someone and settle down." He exhaled smoke. "From now on, let's just be friends." I understood. He got to keep my affection without any of the responsibility. "Okay." I nodded and I left. I went back to my hometown in the north. The cold here was different from New Jersey's, a dry chill that seeped into your bones. The day I arrived, it started to snow. The first real snow I'd seen in years. I called my mom. "Mom, I want your stew." "I'll make some." "Let me check the train schedules. It's almost New Year. They might be hard to get." "No need," I interrupted. "I'm coming home for New Year's." I looked up at the snowflakes drifting into my eyes. "Mom, I'm moving back home." The silence was brief, then exploded into joyful disbelief. "Really?" "Yes." That afternoon, I resigned. My boss was shocked, offering more money, a promotion. I just smiled and shook my head. I want to spend time with my parents. The truth was, I had come to New Jersey for Daniel. I thought if I stayed by his side long enough, he'd finally see me. That love isn't something you can earn through persistence alone. The night I arrived home, I dreamed of him. 17-year-old Daniel transferred to our small town, already too handsome and too cool for any of us. He was always getting into fights. One day, I found him lying bleeding in a snow-covered alley, half frozen. "Get lost," he'd snarled when I tried to help. I called an ambulance anyway. He only wore a thin sweatshirt, so I took off my old red-down jacket and put it over him. He was stunned into silence. "Don't forget to return my jacket," I'd said, as the ambulance sirens grew closer. A week later, he came back to school and gave me a new expensive blue down jacket. Yours was ruined. I took it without knowing its value. After that, we became friends. He was my only connection to a world beyond our small town, and I was his only friend in it. Before our college entrance exams, he asked me, "Do you want to go abroad?" My mom is sending me to Oxford. I laughed bitterly. My family can't afford that. Then where will you go? Washington, I think. It's close to home. He said nothing, but later I saw he'd written the same university in Washington as me. My heart soared. I thought you were going to the UK. Suddenly, it doesn't seem so great, he'd murmured. Washington is fine, but 3 days before the exams, he tore up the application. His father's wife and legitimate son had died in a car accident. His father wanted him back, promising his mother a proper status and Daniel the inheritance. "I'm sorry, Veronica," he said under the buzzing summer cicadas, his eyes red. "I can't go to Washington with you." I stood on my toes and ruffled his hair. "It's fine." "Then I'll go to New Jersey with you." I woke up the next morning with a slight headache from the cold, but I had a birthday party to attend. A message from Daniel was on my phone, a picture of the matching pajamas I'd secretly bought for us. "You forgot these," I replied. "Throw them away." That night, I met Margot. She was exactly as he'd described, fair-skinned, serene, wrapped in a cashmere scarf, with a smile that curved her eyes. She took my hand. "Danny talks about you all the time?" "He said you weren't pretty, but you're so beautiful." I could see the hostility lurking beneath her sweetness. She knew. Daniel sat next to me out of habit. Margot immediately asked me to switch seats. "It's better to avoid sitting next to a taken man, don't you think?" Daniel pushed me lightly. "Don't upset her, Veronica. Just move." The dinner was a nightmare of forced cheer. Daniel doted on Margot, but when she pushed Daniel, "Danny, I want some of that salmon," Daniel instinctively said, "Aren't you allergic to fish?" She fell silent, and I froze. After a while, Margot said with an angry face, "Danny, I'm not allergic to fish." Daniel stopped. "Really?" Maybe I remembered wrong. She stared at him. "Who is allergic to fish?" Daniel said offhandedly, "I forgot." I drank too much. Margot looked at me, forcing a well-rehearsed smile. Later, a drunk friend slurred, "We all thought you and Veronica would end up together." Daniel laughed, a hard, sharp sound. "Really? How could we?" "We're just best friends." He put his arm around me, his face from alcohol. "Veronica, you don't actually like me, do you?" There was nothing in his eyes. No hope, no secret meaning, just the blank certainty of friendship. "Of course not," I said, my smile feeling like cracked glass. "Good," he nodded, shaking my shoulders. "We're best friends." "Yes," I repeated, the word ash in my mouth. "Best friends." Back home, life settled into a new rhythm. My mom, thrilled to have me back, immediately started on her favorite topic. "You're almost 30. When will you bring a man home?" "The young man next door, Bryce, is very handsome." "I'll introduce you." I usually resisted, but this time a profound weariness washed over me. "Okay," I said. "Introduce us." Bryce was a painter renting the house next door. The first time I properly met him, I'd mistaken him for a burglar in the middle of the night, and in my panic, I'd bitten his arm. He'd found the whole thing hilarious. He was infuriatingly handsome and had a way of winning over my parents that was both impressive and annoying. On New Year's Eve, my mom invited him for dinner. The conversation inevitably turned to me. "Veronica, when will you bring a man home?" Bryce looked at me, his eyes twinkling. "Veronica is beautiful. I'm sure she has many suitors." My mom brought out my childhood photo album, and to my astonishment, Bryce seemed genuinely interested. "You were very adorable," he said, and I felt my face grow warm. After dinner, we ended up on the balcony, drinking beer as fireworks painted the sky. He was easy to talk to. I asked him why he'd come to our small town. "For inspiration," he said, looking out at the snow. "Don't you think the winter here is particularly beautiful?" He turned to me. "I planned to leave in spring, but now I think I'll stay a little longer." "Why?" "Because my phone rang. It was Daniel." Veronica, did you change your number? His voice was tense. When are you coming back? I'll pick you up. I took a deep breath of the cold air. Daniel, I'm not coming back. What do you mean? I'm not returning to New Jersey. I'm staying here. You were right. It's time I settled down. There was a long silence. And me? He finally asked, his voice raw. Are you just going to leave me? You can't spend your whole life revolving around me, Daniel. I have my own life. Just then, BRYCE opened the balcony door. More beer. Daniel heard him. Veronica, who are you with? I have to go, I said, and I hung up, blocking his number for good. Months passed. My relationship with BRYCE was a slow, comfortable burn. Then Daniel showed up at my door, standing in the snow like a ghost from my past. Veronica, his voice trembled. I can't let go. What should I do? Teach me how. When it hurts enough, you let go, I said calmly. We just missed our chance, he pleaded, his eyes red-rimmed. No, I shook my head. It was never about missing a chance. As long as I didn't leave, you would never think of me. We were never destined for an ending. I looked at my watch. BRYCE was waiting. Go, Daniel. I walked away. From behind me, a shattered cry tore through the quiet street. Veronica, I can't let go. I can't let go for the rest of my life. I didn't look back. Hey, Veronica, I can't let go. While taking off my shoes, BRYCE leaned against the wall, imitating Daniel's voice, looking at me sideways. I pretended nothing happened. My mom wants us to go eat stew later. Are you coming? BRYCE told me he was leaving. I found him packing, and my heart seized. You're going? Yes, my flight is at 2. Oh, I see. I forced a smile. Well, have a good trip. That's all you have to say? He asked. The burning in my nose was intense. I lowered my head. Nothing else. He smiled mischievously. Oh, are you going to cry? He bent down to look at my face. Are you actually crying? I pushed him, angry and embarrassed. You're insane. He laughed. I knew you'd miss me. I'll be back the day after tomorrow. Don't forget to pick me up. It had all been a ruse to see my reaction. I paid for a year's rent. I have to come back. He pulled me close, the playfulness gone from his face. Wait for me to come back, he whispered and kissed me. The next time I heard about Daniel, it was from a friend. He was severely depressed. He'd swallowed a bottle of pills with alcohol. When they found him, he was still conscious, calling my name. I felt a pang of sorrow, but I didn't go to him. Our story was over. Soon after, BRYCE invited me to his art exhibition. The gallery was dark when I entered. Then the lights came on. Every painting was of me. Me on the balcony, me walking on the beach, me smiling, me lost in thought. He had captured every moment since we'd met, every expression, with such love and detail that my eyes filled with tears. I walked to the end of the corridor, where a final painting showed 2 stars nestled together in a serene night sky. BRYCE stepped out from behind it. Veronica, he said, smiling, will you be my muse forever? I ran to him and jumped into his arms. Yes. If this story stirred your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a dose of love dopamine. I'll keep bringing you more tales of passion, heartbreak, and redemption crafted for the ones who still believe in love. And if you stayed until the very end, thank you. You're the kind of soul who believes in love, even when it hurts. Love harder, dream deeper. Until the next heartbeat.